Hello, this is Beverly of Miles and Coffee, and I've got a great one for you today. Grab your favorite brew because we'll do a deep dive into the cost of living in Mexico. We all know that the average cost of living in Mexico is far lower than in the United States, so much lower, in fact, that the numbers alone might tempt you to start packing your bags if you've got a fully remote job, that is. Combine those numbers with the proximity to the United States, relative ease and inexpensive cost of travel, beautiful scenery, places to see, and the incredible variety of lifestyle at your disposal, and Mexico might start to sound like a paradise. Of course, we all know that news stories about crime can sometimes be worrying, but overall, with proper precautions and insurance, it really does make sense to consider Mexico when thinking about your expat destinations. So, I hope that you'll join me for a breakdown of the cost of living and find out whether Mexico could make your expat dreams come true. I hope that you'll join me.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great.
Questions about the cost of living in Mexico have been discussed numerous times in private coffee chats, so I decided to share this with Miles and Coffee. All the numbers in this article are primarily from Numbeo, which collected data from users on the ground, and the data is from October of 2022. So let's get started by finding out, where do you want to live? Let's talk about the most expensive cities first. Mexico City, Puerto Vallarta, and Monterrey are the three most expensive cities according to Numbeo, while Guadalajara, Merida, and Querétaro are the three least expensive cities. Mexico, on average, at least, is 60% less expensive than the least expensive city in the United States. That's something to think about. The number one most expensive city is Mexico City. Mexico City boasts Aztec and Spanish history, a fantastic foodie scene, and dozens of museums. With more than 25 million people, this city won't leave you lonely. And even in these inflationary times, the cost of living remains relatively reasonable. The second most expensive city is Puerto Vallarta. It's a beautiful town in the west of Mexico on the coast of the Banderas Bay. Puerto Vallarta once had a reputation as a sleepy seaside village, but lately the city has been growing rapidly, adding 14% to its population over the past 10 years alone. With a population of 500,000 people, Puerto Vallarta offers gorgeous seaside vistas, classic colonial architecture, and a high percentage of English speakers. The third most expensive city in Mexico is Monterrey. Monterrey is considered one of Mexico's top cities for business. It has a metro system and cosmopolitan touches like a museum of contemporary art. It also is full of natural attractions like the eco park Parque Natural La Estanzuela, the Garcia Caves in the world's second largest cave system, and Serra de la Silla, a steep mountain that offers an expansive view of the city from its peak. Fourth down the list is Tijuana. Just south of San Diego, so close that it's a home base for some Americans who work on the U.S. side of the border, Tijuana once had an image as a slightly shady getaway town, but the Tijuana of today has evolved into a happening city. Its draws include the Telefonica Gastro Park, which is a sprawling collection of eateries and craft beer that was recently named a top worldwide gastronomic destination. And the fifth most expensive city is Cancun. Known for its fabulous all-inclusive resorts, Cancun is also the closest city to one of the world's greatest sites, the ancient Mayan temple of Chichen Itza. You'll also find the Mayan Museum of Archaeology within the city. It also has beautiful beaches and tranquil islands. How are we doing so far? If you are finding this information about the cost of living in Mexico helpful, please hit the like button, because we are really trying to grow this channel. So I thank you for that. Let's continue. Now it's time to do a deep dive into the least expensive cities, more affordable places to live, like number 1, Puebla. Mexico's most affordable city is less than 2 hours away from the populous Mexico City, which is close enough for day trips. Its claims to fame include the massive active volcano of Popocatépetl, its stunning cathedrals, and its most beloved invention, the delicious mole poblano sauce made with chocolate and ancho chili peppers. Those of you who are regulars on my channel know that mole is my favorite. The second most affordable city in Mexico is Querétaro. Querétaro is the heart of Mexico's second most extensive vine region and is quickly becoming known as a great destination for affordable, safe living for foreigners. With a population of fewer than 800,000 people, Querétaro has 6 universities, manufacturing centers for some of the world's largest corporations, and the fastest growing economy in the country. Its historic center has beautiful architecture and lots of beautiful bright flowers, so it's a very pretty city too. The third most affordable place in Mexico is Guadalajara. In short, Guadalajara offers everything that foreigners move to Mexico for: inexpensive living, great culture, historic traditions, delicious dining options, and lots to see and do. Although it's the second largest city after Mexico City in terms of land mass, its population is 1/10 of the size, so you'll have room to breathe. And finally, Merida is also one of the most affordable. It's built on top of an ancient Mayan city complex. Merida features a huge museum of Mayan culture, an active fishing port in nearby Progreso, 2 large eco-reserves, and thriving art scene. You must remember that the climate of Merida is notably tropical, so with high temperatures and high humidity, it's especially hot in the summertime in Merida. Keep that in mind. Mexico offers so many locations to explore, and each one is more interesting than the last. With its low cost of living and variety of destinations, it's no wonder expats are flocking to Mexico. And in addition to the highest and lowest cost cities listed above, there are gems that fall somewhere in between, in the middle, like San Miguel Allende in Artsy Haven, Lake Chapala, a large lake that is home to many foreign retirees. Now let's do a breakdown of monthly rent. The monthly rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in an average area of Mexico City, for example, will cost about anywhere from $400 United States to $500 US. In a nicer area, you can expect to pay around $680 to over $850 per month. As in most cities, going outside the city center will allow you to spend less. Now, let's look at some comparative prices according to Numbeo. It just depends on where you're looking to rent. For example, in Campeche, a 1-bedroom can go anywhere from $260 to $320 on the low end, 3-bedroom from $408 to $490 on the high end. In Merida, One bedroom could run from $360 to $440, or a 3-bedroom, $660 and up. Guadalajara, more reasonably priced, $440 to $540 for a 1-bedroom, and then of course a 3-bedroom will run you $900 and up. Of course, as we said before, Mazatlan, if you're going into touristy places like Mazatlan, Playa del Carmen, San Miguel de Allende, you can expect to pay higher prices. But remember, if you go outside the city, you might fare better. And for those who are looking for standard Wi-Fi connection, you can expect to pay about $25 to $30 per month, depending on your provider. Cost of utilities for one person might be about $45 to $60 a month, and that's about right. Okay, now it's time to talk about the fun stuff. Let's get into some food and entertainment expenses. Okay, YouTube shout out to Tom and Kathy of the Marvelous Donahues. If you're looking to dine in Mexico City or Playa del Carmen, okay, at the hotspots, you'll expect to pay about $35 to $40 for a 3-course meal, and that's for 2 people. An inexpensive lunch out will set you back at about $4 to $6. Ordering a domestic beer at a restaurant will cost you around $2 to $3, and prices for dining out in Mexico's less expensive cities are lower. However, there isn't as much of a price differential for food costs as there is for housing costs. Going out to the cinema will run you about $4 to $5, and joining the local fitness club might cost you about $20 to $25, but in a smaller city. And then it would be about $35 to $40 in a much larger city. It all depends on where you live. Shopping at local markets and cooking fresh meat and produce at home are great sources of enjoyment, and you can expect to pay like United States $1 to $1.25 for a liter of milk, about $1.50 to $2 for a dozen eggs, about $5 to $6 for a kilo of chicken breasts, and maybe if you're looking at beef, you're looking at about $8 to $10. Wine, $4 to $6. Domestic beer, of course, that's for a bottle, anywhere from $1 to $1.50. Rice, 1 kilo, about anywhere from 80 cents to a little over $1. The rice is going up. I noticed that the other day. And then potatoes, about a 1 kilo, is anywhere from 70 cents to about 80 cents. So shopping at the market does have its perks because it's going to save you more money. Let's get into transportation. Local transportation is really cheap. You can catch the Playa bus, like $3 going one way, $6 round trip. A taxi is about 45 to 55 pesos. And of course, you can take a shuttle to the tourist attractions, anywhere from 30 to 40, maybe $50 one way. Out of curiosity, would you be interested in a breakdown of healthcare costs? If so, leave a comment below. Also, always remember that if you have specific questions you want to ask me, you can book a coffee chat and ask me specific questions. So I use coffee chat platforms to hold one-on-one coaching sessions. Just click the link below in the description. I would be happy to speak with you. Also, are you currently living in Mexico? I would like to know about that, and if so, where are you living? And why did you stay there? What made you decide to stay where you're staying? Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and keep it simple until next time. Thank you for joining me today on Miles and Coffee.